Bro, who do you think is the big five?
I can tell you who I think is the big three.
Okay. Okay.
I can tell you who I think is the big three, and then I'll give you a theory on some of the rest, right? So because you're going to get me in trouble. I get calls. When people say, Jamie.
Yeah. Hey, we played that call. Hey.
But it's all alleged. It's all alleged.
Yes, all alleged. So I think we know Katiso Molefe is a big guy.
Okay.
Based on the fact that he's able to get bail for Schedule 6 offenses, where his cars are seen at the scene of the crime, where people are seen with phones that are pinging from his house. We saw so much.
No one just lives in Sandhurst, man.
And even that house, you put me on the whole that there was a scandal with that house.
Yeah, the house was...
It was hijacked, basically.
Pretty much. Some financial, sophisticated... Yeah, that's like the ownership is so
I think
weird.
KT is definitely one of them.
Okay.
I would put him in that, right? I would put Vusi in that.
Whoa.
I think that he is... Yeah, because listen, CB's gone, right? I think he really is. Is it Frank Lucas, right? I think he really is Frank Lucas.
Oh, he's now becoming a... What do they call them? A made man now.
Yes,
exactly. He's going from this level to the top level.
And we haven't even discussed the attempted murder of Josie Bagnoni, right? Because Josie Bagnoni...
Ferrari,
exactly.
Him.
He's one of the big guys in the taxi industry. He's one of the founding also leaders of Santaco and all of these other things.
Huge guy,
and Vusi...
And he was MCB's competitor.
Yes, and Vusi is alleged to have killed him, right? Or tried to kill him. Attempted, right? So now, even if you look at Joe Ferrari's network, one of the famous Slay Queens dates one of his boys that is always
yeah.
And they've got
there's a famous video that comes out of a Ferrari.
Yeah, and then they've got the presidential cartel or whatever it's called. I don't know what's going on there, right? But he seems to be now at a level where he is doing these operations and doing all of that stuff, right? So I would put him at that level, and I think Mkwanazi and them were correct to tell us that he's at that level. I don't think he's the main guy because still he's reporting to Hangwani, right? Who we didn't get a lot of questions about, but at least they asked towards the end, right? A few people did ask about Hangwani and us, but they didn't go as deep. I wanted a Bushiri moment. Go deeper, Papa. Go to the whole because we need clarifications. Even the tender in Northwest. Right, there seems to have been an involvement of Hangwani and Vusi Matlala there because remember Vusi Matlala was now giving Brown Mokotsi advice, and Brown is like Vusi is advising me. Alu Construction, remember that tender?
Yes. How much money do you need? How many Ferraris can you buy, bro?
Supercars are expensive, but it's not just him. So I think the reason why they end up having to steal these large amounts of money is because you have to cut a lot of people in. So even if it is, if you steal 100 million,
I mean, for example, let's say you just recovered 13 million from a Tembisa hospital employee.
There you go.
Like, guys, what is going on? Guys, it's bad. Employee of Tembisa hospital just paid back 13 million. Bro, and that's someone's mom who's at the club, at the bar, and you're like, this guy, how is he buying this thing? And it's, mama, imagine how many millions she's made.
So the big three you're saying is...
People need to get cut in. You pay all these guys are making money. People are getting filthy rich, dog.
Molefe,
yes,
Cat,
yes,
and you saying Hangwani.
I would put him there because Cat is reporting to this guy.
Yeah.
Even with the Alu Construction. Remember, they do the tender with Brown. Sorry, not the tender, the court application, the urgent interdict to prevent the first supplier being awarded that tender. And then it goes back to bid. And then Alu Construction ends up bidding again. And then now Brown is being asked, hey, Brown Mokotsi Foundation did an interdict. And then in the second stage, you guys didn't do the interdict. And now we're seeing Alu Construction. And by the way, even this year, that company, Alu Construction, blah, 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 was trying to win a tender this year in Northwest, a tender worth 1 billion. So they're still at it like a crack addict. They're still doing it, right? So it's not like it's over. So you mustn't think that because the SIU sees the assets, that the Hoshkari behavior, which is what I call it, has stopped, right? So now that's why I'm saying Hangwani is part of it.
What do you guys think, or what do you guys make of this so-called Big Five? Of the crime cartels or criminal syndicates? Who do you guys think constitutes this Big Five? Of course, we have been given names of Ket Matlala and KT Molefe. Those is not speculation that comes from me or anyone else, but is as per the testimony and the evidence presented before the Madlanga Commission and the ad hoc and the Parliament's ad hoc committee, because these two forums, the Madlanga Commission and the Parliament's ad hoc committee, these are the forums that are investigating the allegations that were made by the KwaZulu-Natal Police Commissioner, Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, that there are criminal syndicates or cartels that have infiltrated the South African Police Service and certain segments of the criminal justice system. So that of course, the president of the country, Cyril Ramaphosa, in response to those allegations, suspended the current police minister, Senzo Mchunu, and then established the Madlanga Commission, the Judicial Commission of Inquiry, led by now retired Constitutional Court Judge Mbuyiseli Madlanga. That's why it is called the Madlanga Commission. Then on the other side, the legislature, which is the National Assembly, because you know that the state is separated into three arms. It is the executive, which of course is led by Cyril Ramaphosa, which has gone on to establish the Madlanga Commission. There's also the judiciary. Then there's also the legislative arm. In this form, it's the National Assembly. So it has established its own forum to investigate the very same allegations. This is in the form of an ad hoc committee. So the evidence so far that has been presented in the testimonies, it's what points to the existence of the criminal cartel, which in its quest to pursue its agenda and interest has infiltrated the South African Police Service through people like the now suspended National Deputy Commissioner, Lieutenant General Shadrack Sibia. But this has not stopped there. It has also gone on to capture politicians. And the face of those politicians will be the now suspended police minister, Senzo Mchunu. Okay? So, of course, with the interest of ensuring that they cripple the state, that the state is not able to respond and fight the activities that are undertaken by these criminal cartels and all of that. So far we've only had the Ket Matlala and KT Molefe, because the police have said that there's still investigations underway. Hence, they've not named the other three and all of that. So I want to hear from you guys that from reading the whole thing and following the testimonies and others, who do you think forms part of this big five? Thank you guys for tuning in. My name is Tebus Kosana. The name of the platform is IZWI LABANSUNDU, the voice for Africans. Kama Africa.